Hey friends, Mrs. Burkett here, and I want to show you some examples of friendly letters. In your packet, you have a page that looks like this. It says parts of a friendly letter on it. So I wanted to just pop in here for a few minutes and talk about a friendly letter. I'm sure you learned some of this in first grade, but you may have forgotten. It's been a while. The things that we need to include in a friendly letter is a date, okay? So when I start modeling here in a minute, you're going to see me put a date up here. Now, I'm going to suggest that you maybe do a first draft in your notebook, okay? So if you have your notebook, I want you to try to find a page there and maybe do that first. And I think that's how I'm going to model, because when I send a letter to someone else, an important person or a friend or my mom or my son, my husband, my neighbor, I want it to look nice. It says something about me when they get it. So I want them to know that I really value them. And so I'm going to really do a nice job on it. So we're going to look at the parts, the date. So I want you to have 5 fingers. That's what it needs to have, a date. And then this part, the dear part, we call a greeting. And we generally say dear. And depending on if we're writing to somebody that's important, a friendly letter, we'd probably maybe use last names. Dear Mr. Wells, or Dear Miss Cartwright. I don't know who your teacher was, or Miss Mafford or Miss Coleman. So, but you're going to write to a friend. So today I'm going to give you a specific assignment of writing a letter to someone. I wore my Be Kind shirt. We've been talking about friends helping friends. Think about how Flap, he wanted to do something for his friends, and so he thought he was going to go get a big juicy worm, and that's how he was going to thank his friends and communicate back to them his appreciation. And then if you remember Mouse, what Mouse did, he picked some flowers and he went to see Snake, and he wanted to give Snake some flowers to let him know how much he thanked him for his friendship. So that's the kind of letter I want you to be thinking about writing today. Who is someone that you would like to tell that you are thankful for them? Maybe and what will really help you write the letter is to think of a specific thing they have done for you, a specific way they have been kind or been helpful to you, okay? So it could be mom or dad, it could be grandma or grandpa, and I'm going to show you some examples here in a minute. So, dear Tom, and we put the date over on the right side when we're looking at our paper. This would be on the right side. And dear Tom, the greeting, dear mom, dear grandpa, would be on the left. And then I don't know if you remember what that little mark is. We talked about sentences needing periods. And some sentences, if they're a question, they get a question mark. This is a comma. See if you can remember that. Put a comma after whoever you're writing to. And then why is this blank space here? Did your first grade teachers tell you anything about indenting when we start a paragraph? So I want you to try to indent. And usually it's about the width of your thumb. You can't see my thumb, but I'm putting up there on my computer monitor screen, and that space is just about the width of my thumb. And then the sentences part, the main part, the sentences and words we write, that's called the body. So this can help you. A head, a greeting, you always say hello, hi. So that's your greeting, your mouth parts. You have your heading, your date, your greeting, your mouth part. Your body is the main sentences. And then we do what is called a closing and our signature. And you could think of the closing as your legs and your signature as your feet, where you make steps. Okay? So you always put that over towards the right. your friend. You maybe in first grade talked about some closings, but your friend would be a good one for today's writing, okay? And then you'll sign your name. And you don't need to sign your last name since you're writing to a friend. I mean, they know you. I mean, you wouldn't, if you're writing to grandma, you wouldn't say, Holly Burkett. She knows Holly. If she's my grandma, she knows me, okay? Let me show you a few other examples before you go ahead and get started. And remember, you can pause this video and come back anytime. So it's a little blurry, but I hope you can see it. It's another example of a friendly letter. It looks very much like the paper that was in your packet. We have the date. It's not going to be October 15th. It's going to be September, right? 17, 2020. And then, dear, whoever your friend is, dear Sammy, dear Jenny, okay, dear Kate, whoever your friend that you want to be thankful for. It could be a cousin. It could be somebody you get to play with in your neighborhood, and they've been helpful to you in some way. Maybe they helped you fix your bike, or maybe they helped you rake your yard. Maybe mom or dad had given you a job to do, or take the trash out, or feed the dog, and maybe someone helped you do that, and you want to thank them. Now, this letter isn't about thanking. How are you? I know you broke your arm. I hope your arm doesn't hurt in the cast. I am going to have a birthday party November 3rd. Can you come to my party? I hope so. Maybe the kids can sign their names on your cast. And then this one isn't quite where I'd like to see it on your paper. You'll see it is over on the left-hand margin, okay? This one, for some reason, it's over this way, and I'm not sure why. Your friend, Pedro. Let's look at another one. Here's a friendly letter. Yeah, the date, very close to today's date. Dear Grandma Knight, I'm so glad you made it to my birthday party last weekend. My friends enjoyed meeting you. Hey, you could get some ideas from here. Thank you for the new basketball. It was my favorite birthday gift. I use it every day when I play at the park. Love, Isabella. So I like the way they addressed their friend. And in this case, the friend was grandma. And they did use the last name. So whatever you call your grandma or grandpa, Nana, Papa, dear Nana, you could say that. Or you might be a little bit more formal and you might say, dear grandma, and the last name, Fleming or whatever. And then one more example. Take a shot. And here you see the date on the right-hand margin, March 7, 2008. Dear Grandpa, I love playing basketball. My team is very good. We have won all our games so far. I hope you will be able to come watch us play soon. That would be fun. Love, Max. Do you know what that part is? If you had to do this page, would you be able to cut out and we have, let's see, it's not going to let me, there it is. Every time I go down, the body, the heading, the greeting, the closing. So this is our heading. The date is our heading. This is our greeting. So we have the date is our heading. Today's date. Our heading, or our greeting, dear, whoever we're writing to, and don't forget that comma. I know this is small and you maybe don't see. The body, the main part, the sentences we would write. Try to write at least 3 sentences if you can, okay? And the words thank you, and mom and dad can help you. They might have to help you with spelling some of the words. If you were here in the classroom, I would work with all of you. We would put some words up on the board, brainstorm some words and how to spell them that we all might want to use. And then we have love, so this is a different closing. Instead of your friend, love, because it's grandpa. And then your signature. And your signature is your name, and it's these words. Notice how these are in line together, okay? And I'm going to try to go back here if it'll let me. Oops, I went too far. So there was love. And notice how love and the name, if I could draw a line right down through there, couldn't I? I just clipped out of my things. Now, this one wasn't the best. But just your reminder of what you need to include in your letter. So I have a new pet cat. I named it Whiskers. Come see it this weekend. Now that's not really talking about how friends depend on each other. So really want you to try to think about our theme in our reading and our wonder series, and try to write a letter that has to do with being kind and showing friendship. You might even find some words in your story like, I'm just thinking how Mouse said and how Fluff and Tough said, you can depend on me. I will always be your friend. I want you to know that. Thank you for helping me and being a friend to me. Thank you for helping me when I have a problem. And that would be as simple as what you could write. So I cannot wait to read your letters, boys and girls. Send me a picture when you get it done. Now, again, I want to remind you, and for time, I'm going to hop over here and see if I can't show a model of what you're going to do. Let me see. Here it comes. So hang with me just a minute. So I'm in the notebook, and I have my pencil. No, it isn't sharing. Okay. It isn't going to share. So I'm going to have to go back to my slide because the visualizer isn't sharing. So I'll go back to my slide and I'll just talk to you about it. So in my notebook, I'm going to do a practice letter. I'm going to practice putting my name and my date and my dear and the couple sentences. That way, if I have to erase or I have to scratch something out, I don't want to say that. That wasn't a good sentence. I have kind of a rough draft, a first draft, okay, that I can kind of work with and fix and change. And mom and dad or somebody can help me kind of get it down. Try to write 3 sentences. And then tomorrow you can write a really nice, neat final draft for me and send me a picture of this one, okay? So mom and dad might even brainstorm some words you could use, how to spell your friend's name maybe. You could use the margin to kind of make a list of some of the words you want to use maybe in your letter. Do a great job. Good luck, boys and girls. Thanks so much. See you soon.